That brings us to broad topics, starting with the NWA World Title program between Sting, Christian Cage, and the Monster Abyss, a retreat of last month's NWA World Title program.
So good last month, we should just do it again.
We didn't find out what the secret was, so we have to continue to tease the secret for a whole other month.
You know, that's the key. The secret that everyone is really invested in.
To be fair, that is mostly how WWE book television. There's just like mystery. They don't even like tease the mystery. They just like say the word mystery and expect people to care.
And like, at least the one thing I will give TNA here is I think like they know what they're doing at least, or have an idea. They're very just like, fuck it, mystery. We'll work out what the payoff is eventually.
Our fans need jangling keys. Mystery it is.
Yeah.
That brings us to the December 14th episode of Impact, in which Ron Killings faces Abyss in a non-title match between the current NWA World Champion and a former two-time NWA World Champion.
Abyss, Ron Killings getting the Abyss rebound pay-per-view match.
Which is funny because Abyss won on the pay-per-view, but not convincingly enough.
I think they just like to... Well, yeah, because A, it wasn't convincing. But, like, B, I think they just, like to restart their pay-per-view cycle with Abyss killing someone.
They do it a lot. They do like Abyss having a little squash on, like, the first show after a pay-per-view. And, like, this isn't even a squash. It is kind of a competitive match. And it needs
as
a
it
distraction.
should be.
Yeah. So, like you say, as it should be, like it is a competitive match. They have like as competitive as you can have a probably 4-minute match on TV, but they do not treat Ron with the gravitas of a two-time NWA champion at this point at all, do they?
No, but on the bright side, like I don't know, it's weird to say, but like it's a TV match, so at least they didn't beat him clean.
That's true. So Ron hits a nice dive on Abyss as Sting watches on from the rafters as he's still keeping an eye on his pal Abyss.
He fucking loves the rafters.
What do you think? Is it just vantage point?
I think he's perching like a crow.
He doesn't go anywhere like a scorpion though. Yeah. It's not like you find Sting also in a pit,
like buried underneath stuff as a scorpion.
Yeah, we need to keep a monitoring eye on this with Sting. If he's ever emerging from underneath some kind of pit or hole or sand, then we know he's embracing his scorpion side.
I don't know.
Killings gets distracted chasing Mitchell and walks right into a black hole slam for the defeat. Later in the show, Letitia is backstage with Christian, and Christian is being very mean to Letitia.
Yeah, he hates this woman.
He says, "Shut your mouth, you dirty little trick," to her. And I'm like, bro, that's fundamentally inappropriate workplace behavior.
I mean, it's Christian Cage. It's kind of his thing.
Yeah, he's not a very nice man.
No, like especially when it comes to workplace relations and saying inappropriate things.
He was referring to Abyss as the R word just last month.
But yeah, and also to this day, he's bringing up his co-workers' dead relatives every 3 seconds.
That's true, and he does want to bang most of their mothers.
Exactly. This is him.
HR needed to intervene much earlier, is what we're learning. He threatens to do to her what Angle just did to Don West, which we'll get to in a minute. And they're going to reveal Abyss's secret if he doesn't get a title shot. There's 2 more parts. This segment is probably 90 seconds long. There's 2 more notes for 2 different stories that we'll get to coming out of this one backstage promo, because that's the way this show works now.
Yeah. If it gets like too chaotic, we might just have to run them down show by show.
It might make more, because I was like doing the notes last night. I was finishing the notes because I had all the notes done and I just had to color code them because we color code them to find all the...
And it did take you way longer than I thought.
It took me 30 minutes just to go through the shows and color code the stories for broad topics. 30 whole minutes just highlighting and coloring. Later in that show, Christian, at the end of the show, comes out. He's going to expose the secret, but Abyss's music hits. Abyss brawls with Tomko for a while, clears the ring. Christian tries to attack from behind, but gets press slammed. Tomko and Christian eventually get the better of Abyss. Referees separate them, but then Abyss starts attacking the referees. Shock treatments Rudy Charles. Black hole slams Andrew Thomas, which are big bumps to take for referees, by the way.
Well, you can't be a referee if you don't know how to take the bumps. That's how it works.
That's true. Jim Cornette comes out and tries to calm the situation, but Abyss goozles him. Lights out. Sting appears. Sting says, "Don't do it to Cornette. Do it to Mitchell." And Abyss is like, all right, grabs Mitchell, but eventually gets distracted when he realizes Sting is leaving with his NWA World Title, and this upsets him greatly.
Which is a fatal flaw in Sting's plan here. Like, if he just wasn't a selfish bitch, and He would have probably got like the thing that he's like gonna fight for the next 4 weeks to happen now.
It is a fundamental contradiction in this story in that Sting is like this greedy, horrible Mitchell is out to get you. He's abusing you, he's exploiting you, and I am the decent, honorable man who's trying to set you free. Meanwhile, I do want your NWA title.
But don't like think about that too much.
Yeah, don't think too hard about the fact that it's to skip forward to the pay-per-view, which is an elimination match. The man who eliminates Abyss from that match is Sting. Which is a bit of a jerkish thing to do.
Yeah, I don't think Sting's like... I mean, maybe this is a Vince Russo thing. It's like, there's no real baby face in like a main pushed act. Like, everyone's kind of a self-serving asshole.
Yeah, which is a great commentary on society, I think. But that may not make the best wrestling show. Because, like, Angle and Joe, you are right. Exact same thing.
Yeah.
Like, Joe is kind of a babyface, but Kurt certainly isn't.
Yeah.
The following week, we get the debut of Serotonin on Impact. Well, Frankie Kazarian's in action.
Baby.
They come out to Raven's theme. They get a tough debut because Kazarian's first match under the Serotonin gimmick is against Sting.
Yeah, they had an idea for a gimmick rebrand, but they don't actually want to use it in any pushed capacity.
It feels like Raven annoyed them about something. And they're like,
Yeah.
Fine, do your fucking flock gimmick again.
But maybe the bit is that, like, you know, they're all sadists and want to get the shit kicked out of them, you know?
They do want to be demolished by the top stars on the show.
Yeah.
It is kind of wild just to have Sting doing, like, relatively meaningless singles matches on TV against Kazarian.
Yeah. I mean, eventually you kind of got to, you know, do that. You can't just be running down to the ring and breaking up a fight every week.
Yeah, it is the thing. Russo's not precious about just booking his top guys on TV and matches and pinning them all the time. It's like he does not have any like compunction about protecting people in that way. He's just like, yeah, I want to have Sting wrestle on TV. He's going to wrestle Kazarian in a 3-minute match.
I don't have a problem with it.
Sting does come to the ring with Abyss's NWA World Title.
Especially like, sorry, as we talked about, it's like they're in the middle of their, like, we want our TV ratings because we're trying to get more money too, so...
Because, yeah, there's a match this month where they advertise Christian versus Kurt as the main event of the show, which never actually happens, but they are just like, you know, let's just put stars on TV. Why not?
Yeah.
Serotonin, they try to surround Sting with kendo sticks, but Sting runs them off with his bat. Kazarian tries to sneak attack Sting with the kendo stick from behind, but Sting just catches it over his head.
It's kind of awesome, to be fair.
Sting's cool. Sting's a cool wrestler.
Yeah, more than like a good wrestler, Sting is a cool wrestler.
Oh, Sting has Kaz for the Scorpion Death Drop, dumps Divine overhead when he tries to interfere and then wins with it. Sting calls out Abyss. He wants to give the title back, but he wants a world title rematch in return. So
That's
he gives
fucked up.
He is exploiting Abyss. This is literally exploiting Abyss.
Yeah. Also, it's his.
It is, yeah. Return it to the man. You just took it. He gives Abyss until the end of the show to give him an answer. So this is another segment for the second month in a row in which we will have to wait through the show to find out what Sting and Abyss have to say to each other.
It worked so well last time. Let's run it back again.
He says he's got to shake Sting's hand and say yes, but don't bring Mitchell. Later in the show, we show Raven back in the ring whipping Kaz after his loss. So that's the thing. Like, Raven doesn't accompany them to the ring. They come out as a trio. Which, by the way, if you're wondering who is Serotonin, it is the group of Maverick Matt, Martyr, I think he's known as at some point, and Kaz, which is Matt Bentley, Johnny Devine, and Frankie Kazarian. Are your 3 members of Serotonin, and they are the lackeys of Raven.
They're more like the fanboys of Raven.
Yeah, they are. We're kind of going back to like the Cassidy Riley thing, aren't we?
Yeah, they're like stans.
This is original Stan culture here in 2006 TNA. Tomko, he has a DVD from Christian. He says it's about Abyss's past, and we'll see it tonight. He's going to the truck to play it.
I feel like Shelley should have done this.
He's busy. He's pogoing.
He's like, I cut together this DVD for you.
Yeah, this torture DVD. No, the torture one is Mitchell's. Sorry.
Yeah, please.
Later in the show, Abyss comes to the ring. Sting also comes out. Sting says Abyss has potential to be a great world champion, which is why I want to take your title from you. But he's got to stop worrying about his past. They can change his future. He'll give Abyss his title back if Sting gets a title shot at Final Resolution. Christian appears on the screen. This is Tomko's DVD playing. Christian is outside a prison. Despite this being a recording, Christian actually appears to directly acknowledge the conversation Abyss and Sting were just having.
He knows what he's talking about.
He can see into the future. Because they're outside of a prison, Mike Tenay says in a stunned voice, that must mean that Abyss was in prison.
What if it just means that he worked in a prison?
Well, that's what Tomko was doing. Maybe he was Tomko's guard mate.
Yeah, exactly.
Sting ignores this DVD, offers a handshake. Abyss grabs his neck and they fight. Security separate them. Christian was disguised as a member of security all along.
That's awesome.
And attacks Sting with a nightstick. Mitchell insists Abyss leaves, but Abyss comes back, runs off Christian and Tomko, and hands Sting his bat.
But not the title.
No, not the title. I do think actually he does leave with the title. I do think he gets the title back. Sting clearly realizes his gambit didn't work and is like, fine, take it. I do find this whole premise of this segment very funny in that Christian, they think he's visiting. Well, they know Tomko's there. They know Tomko is at the Impact Zone because Tomko delivers the DVD.
He's in the truck.
Yeah, they presumably think Christian is somehow still at the prison, but Christian is there distracting them.
Maybe it's because they're stupid.
I think they are stupid, and they maybe did not think this too far through. But also, does it matter? Not really.
No.
It's like, this story would be, really good and amazing were it not for that one logical inconsistency.
For the many logical inconsistencies.
December 28th Impact, JB has Mitchell and Abyss. Later tonight, it'll be Abyss versus Sting versus Christian in a nightstick on a pole match.
Damn, who's running this show?
There's no way of knowing. Jim Cornette, canonically. So in canon, Jim Cornette loves these fucking pole matches.
Yeah, in canon, Jim Cornette is biting Vince Russo's shit.
Yeah, he's booking these left, right, and center. Mitchell wants to know whose side Abyss is on. Abyss reaches out for the NWA title, which is now on Mitchell's shoulder, but Mitchell pulls it away. Abyss's body language through this entire month relating to the NWA title is so good. Like, every time Sting has it or Mitchell has it, he's always like reaching out to it like it is his fucking Gollum precious. And like, he really
Please
wants
give it back to me. It's mine.
It's like the one thing he actually kind of wants.
And all these mean people are just stealing it from him.
Yeah, they're keeping it away from him and using it as leverage and then torturing him over it. And he just wants his fucking belt that he kind of earned. Mitchell says Abyss better kill Sting tonight or he'll reveal the secret. Says Tomko and Christian may know the result that Abyss ended up in prison, but he knows the cause. Why Abyss ended up in prison. So Abyss better be on his side tonight.
Fraud.
Yeah, he committed tax fraud, actually. It's actually quite boring.
That was his brother.
Oh, yes, of course.
And he took the fall.
That's the reason they shut down the law firm and he had to go to WWE.
It's true.
That's the reason when he returned, Joseph Park was in the undead realm. Later in the show, Letitia has Christian. He accuses Sting and Abyss of having a conspiracy to keep him away from the title. And if they want to team up on Christian tonight, he has that problem solved.
Tomko.
The Tomko, yeah, the big guy.
Because that's what he does.
He's a problem solver.
That's his whole thing.
He's then also mean to Letitia. And then, it's not the main event segment, because there's a whole main event segment with Angle and Joe. But the main event of that show is Sting versus Christian versus Abyss in a rematch from the pay-per-view in a nightstick on a pole match. The rules being, the first person to use the stick wins.
I mean, you know what? Fair.
Yeah.
That makes the item more desirable than simply I want to beat someone to death with it.
It is also obviously the easy way out of having to beat anybody. Mm-hmm. You can do the big three-way on TV again without anybody actually really losing.
It's not really a real match.
It's not. Sting and Abyss work together, but Sting stops Abyss from going to get the nightstick. Once again, Sting, the quote-unquote nice guy.
Yeah, the manipulative piece of shit.
Sting stops Christian from getting the stick with a superplex. Abyss tries to use this window, but Tomko interferes. Tomko gets the stick, but Sting slingshots Christian into him, grabs the stick, hits Christian with it in the ribs, one single shot, and then he wins.
Does that count?
It is one single. I guess the rule wasn't that you had to go up and get it and hit him with it. It was just you had to hit him with it.
That's true.
First strike wins.
What if it was a different nightstick?
That would be a good scam.
By that logic, it didn't need to be the nightstick from the pole.
That's true. You are right.
It could have been any nightstick.
You could have just grabbed one from a fan. They do carry them in the Impact Zone.
So do security, apparently.
After the match, Tomko attacks Sting. Abyss makes the save. Sting hands Abyss the nightstick as they continue to build trust.
What a payoff this will have.
Yes. The following week, we go to Mitchell and Abyss. They're also outside of the same prison. Abyss is in a great deal of distress here.
Yeah, he fucking hates this.
He is wailing like a wounded animal. And I will say, once again, a really good performance from him, because he feels like it is actually distressing to watch him be tortured by James Mitchell here.
Yeah. James Mitchell's not a good dad.
No.
Thank God he apologizes to him.
We are literally just recently got the final payoff in the Undead Realm where they reconciled in 2026 and they're all fine. And Mitchell was like, we tried to take over the world and then we tried to kill each other. That was dumb, huh?
She should have been. I'm sorry about the prison thing. I know that really fucked with you.
Yeah, that psychological torture thing I did to you so that you would be my friend and not be Sting's friend. Even though Sting, I could have just pointed out the ways in which Sting is being an asshole to you, and that probably would have worked better than the torture.
But that's all I knew.
It is all he knows.
That's how my father, Kevin Sullivan, taught me.
Yes, the devil dad. Mitchell says that Abyss has a choice to make, and he's going to make it tonight. As Abyss chokes Mitchell and screams as we cut away. Feels like he's still on the fence.
Whose side is he on?
Yeah, he's on the NWOs. The main event of the show is meant to be Christian versus Kurt Angle. As the match is about to start, Jim Cornette announces that Tomko will be barred from ringside at the pay-per-view. They also announced at one point in Jim's office that it'll just be a three-way. It'll just be a three-way at the pay-per-view, like everyone expects. But elimination rules, which is important.
A three-way dance.
But there's a whole deal here with Joe attacks Angle that we'll cover under Angle Joe. But we circle back to Christian at the end. He slides back in, jumps Angle. Tomko makes the timekeeper ring the bell to start the match, but Angle suplexes Christian and then Tomko just attacks. So the match never really starts. Sting makes the save as Angle and Sting stand shoulder to shoulder to close the show for the first time.
The old bait and switch.
Yeah, it's really funny in that the brawl that happens here between Joe and Angle is like 6 minutes long, which is longer than any match that happens on television this month, which is quite miraculous.
You know what's funny?
Yep.
It's not even a bait and switch.
Yeah.
It's a bait and nothing.
Yeah, they didn't even switch. They just did a brawl and then the match didn't happen.
Yeah.
The Go Home Impact, we get a recap video of Abyss's past and torture. Angle is in Jim Cornette's office. Jim has been very amenable to Angle for the whole story with Samoa Joe that we'll get into. He says he's helped him, but he needs Kurt to help him tonight. Kurt's like, why the fuck would I do that? And Jim is like, I make the NWA title matches. Do you want to get on my good side? And Kurt's like, all right, yeah, fine, I'll do your bidding.
Yeah, that's fair.
I know I'm real angry at you all the time, but I do want title matches.
I haven't really had a chance to think about it yet because of my ego, but I'll get to it.
JB has James Mitchell. He has a message for Abyss. He stands here without his monster. He doesn't even know where Abyss is after he emotionally tortured him outside that prison last week. Mitchell says he's Abyss's only friend and the only man he can trust. And it's time for him to make a decision and come home. Or Mitchell will spill the beans about his super duper secret.
Okay, like a good friend does.
It's either be my friend or I will blackmail you. That's how I get you to do this podcast.
I was going to say, it's the same as our relationship.
Main event of this Impact, the Go Home episode of Impact, the Go Home segment. It's Abyss versus Tomko in Tomko's TNA in-ring debut. Jim Cornette comes out and says to illustrate how Tomko will be barred from ringside at the pay-per-view and to ensure Christian can't interfere tonight, he will go in a little cage at ringside. It's actually a pretty big cage. It's a red bird cage. It will be Cage in a cage, and despite all his rage, he's still just a cage in a cage. Jim calls in a favor, and Kurt Angle comes out to put Christian in the cage. I like that Angle doesn't even really have to physically drag him. He just kind of backs him into it.
Yeah, he just stares through his soul.
Tomko goes to get a chair. Abyss boots it into his face. We have a bunch of Angle Joe bullshit. But in the kerfuffle, Christian gets the key and escapes his cage. Abyss black hole slams Tomko, but Christian runs in and attacks him for the DQ. They beat down Abyss until lights out Sting. Sting runs wild, saves Abyss. Abyss raises Sting's hand, but then kills him with a shock treatment as Abyss returns home to James Mitchell.
I really like that, while everything starts to break down, Cornette's just like, fuck, come on.
Yeah.
He's like, this is my perfect plan. Why is it not working?
It feels like it should cause him to readdress his plans for the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
If he was like, to illustrate how good my plan is to stop Tomko from interfering, I'm going to stop Christian from
Yeah.
This doesn't seem like a good plan. The rating grew with a record peak rating of 1.24 for the Abyss versus Tomko main event. It is the highest quarter-hour rating for TNA to date. So this match, to date, is the most watched match in TNA history.
Time to put Tomko on top.
Yeah, Tomko, big draw.
A TV star.
The problems he's solving is the ratings problems. That brings us to Final Resolution 2007, January 17th, 2007, from the Impact Zone in Orlando, Florida. The main event of which is Christian Cage versus Sting versus Abyss in an elimination match for the NWA World Title. Earlier in the show, Sting pops into a Team 3D interview just being like, "Oh, JB, you seen Abyss?" And JB is like, "No, I have not seen Abyss, Sting." And then later, JB has Sting, says, "Chris will be a new man tonight."
Oh.
Mitchell walks up and says Sting makes him sick. He thinks Sting is just as much of an animal as Abyss, despite his divine purpose. Sting says Mitchell will be dancing with the devil in hell because there's not enough room up here for you anymore.
He's got to kill him.
Yeah, and send him back to hell.
That's not very Christian.
That's how you banish a demon from this plane.
One of the ways, sure.
So Christian Cage defeats Sting and Abyss to become NWA World Champion for a second time.
It feels more appropriate this time.
It's because like the last time was the kind of bad floppy babyface run.
Yeah.
And now you're just watching Christian. He's just being Christian. He's saying slurs. He's being mean to people.
Yep.
That's his whole shtick.
That's Christian, baby.
Tomko is locked in the cage at ringside. Tomko nonetheless reaches through the door and starts choking Sting, finding a new way this dumb Jim Cornette plan does not work.
You know what I would have done?
Yeah.
Locked him in the cage in the back.
That's a much smarter idea.
Yeah. Or like 3 feet further away.
Yeah, because in this instance, it's not even like last time Christian got the key and escaped, which is like an unforeseen circumstance that you can be like, well,
this is just like the most obvious example of why this wouldn't work ever.
It's just the cage was really badly designed and he could just reach through the door.
He didn't even like have to like Mark Henry rip it open or something.
No, he just like grabbed him. This distracts the referee when Abyss hits the Black Hole Slam on Christian. Sting then eliminates Abyss with the Scorpion Death Drop, guaranteeing a new NWA World Champion between Sting and Christian Cage, and removing Abyss.
Dick.
Taking Abyss's title reign away from him like an asshole.
Like in the end, Christian didn't even do it.
Yeah.
It was Sting.
Yeah.
The guy who's pretending to be his friend.
Sting is the worst. That is what we're learning.
He's like, you know what? Chris will be a new man. A man without a world championship.
You know, all those people through the years have turned on Sting. I'm now beginning to see why.
Revenge.
Yeah.
What an asshole.
Sting stings up and hits a superplex. I was trying to think of obviously Hulk's up is when he goes brother and runs wild. And I was like, the stings up doesn't feel as good because obviously Hulk, hulking, that's actually a verb. I was trying to think of what stings like firing up would be called.
Give me a sec. All right. Is he sting maxing?
He's sting maxing. Sting starts to sting max and hits a superplex.
Which actually will come full circle later when he becomes Joker Sting and he will be Jester maxing.
Oh my god. He does. He does. He was ahead of the time. We're back on Sting's side. Never mind him being an asshole. Sting locks Christian in the Scorpion Deathlock, but Mitchell frees Tomko, which apparently he didn't even need to do. But
someone make a Black Pill Sting edit.
What would that consist of?
I mean, you could find some clips of him mogging, I'm sure, and then you can be like, have like some generic like slowed down beat in the background as he like walks past people, and you put the black bar over their eyes.
There was a note that he's going on a Christian-friendly cruise this month, presumably as some kind of star performer.
And it's just Sting like fucking walking through, betraying his friends as the alpha wolf pack.
No, he's... Mitchell distracts the ref as Tomko hits the Argentine neckbreaker, but Sting kicks out. Abyss comes back and neutralizes Tomko. Sting hits Christian with the Unprettier, but Christian kicks out. Ref gets bumped. Abyss comes in the ring with the chain, feigns to deck Christian with it, but swivels the goddamn hips and takes out Sting instead.
Again, deserved.
Yep. Listen, I'd like to think there's a world where Abyss would not have done this had Sting not eliminated him from his world title match.
You know what? Despite it all,
Yeah.
Sting actively been a worse guy to him than Christian has.
Yeah, Christian's actually done pretty much. He said some slurs in his direction, which we won't discuss.
I mean, yeah.
But for the most part,
Who hasn't?
Christian has just been verbally mean to Abyss.
Yeah, which means he's verbally mean to everybody.
That's true. Like, Christian has been as mean to Abyss as he has been to Letitia.
Yeah, and Letitia isn't out here swiveling the hips on Sting.
But yes, Abyss drops Christian with the chain. Christian hits Sting with a frog splash. He wins the NWA World Title. Ending Abyss's one and only world title reign in his career. Which, not the best world title run. It's a 2-month run.
But at least he had it.
At least he had it. There's two I feel very strongly in the at least he had it category for TNA history. And it is Abyss and Chris Sabin. Like, both guys that, like, they both only had 1 to 2 month runs. They didn't set the world on fire. But listen, it's better that they had it than not.
Yeah, everyone from, like, that particular sort of, not era necessarily, but, like, association with the TNA. I think it's always good when they, like, even, like, Kazarian, you know, Shelley, like, whenever these people get the title, it just feels right.
Yep. Sting came to TNA Final Resolution with some notes written down of ideas for his main event match.
The notes were, I will be a piece of shit.
I want to fuck over Abyss as hard as possible. It surprised some people because his rep is that he doesn't show any indications of giving any thoughts to TNA except when he's there being told what to do.
Well, you know what? He was clearly inspired. That Christian fucking cruise.
Yeah, it really gave him peace of mind.
Yeah.
A few minutes were cut from the pay-per-view main event due to the show running long, but none of the angles and interference was in the match were cut, so everything ran close together, though some thought it worked out better and others thought it seemed too busy and overbooked as a result. I would say it would have been too busy and overbooked regardless, and the fact that it was tighter and pithier made it a little better.
I think that every match is going to be like this, so we should just move on from it and not think about it too hard.
That's true. You can't be like, whoa, did we really need interference? Like, I do think these three men have good chemistry. I think the matches have been pretty good, despite the
they're
fucking
like
insane.
fine.
Yeah, they're like nice 3-star, 3.25-star heavyweight matches where the big guys do moves to each other.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of bullshit happens. And like, listen, it's at this point, we're 5 years into TNA. You know what it is. You know?
Furthermore, it is just like US wrestling, you know?
Yeah.
Like US TV wrestling specifically. This is kind of what their matches are just like.
They just do a bunch of bullshit unless you're inspired by Japanese wrestling, in which now you do a bunch of how to torture bullshit.
Yeah. They're the ones that made it.
Yep. But Christian is your new NWA World Champion.